Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. I hope you guys are having a great day and welcome to an insane I can't believe this video. It's not a PvP video, but it's about something that could absolutely dismantle everything you know and love about PvP. Now, I know that you guys have seen a lot of these videos recently about how pay to win this game has become over time. But this is based on leaked information. This could be one of the worst changes to ever reach PvP. And I'm gonna break down exactly what this is. This is infuriating. So if you go into the Scroll of Fortune, right, there's a lot of fun stuff here. One thing that caught a lot of people's eyes is this mount. Now this mount is called the Chompy Brano. Now let's look at the Fossil Warriors gear set, right? Let's look at the damn adjustments. If you have two pieces, you get a little extra damage, a little extra, storm, a little extra life. But I think what a lot of people might have noticed is the the three gear set combo. This is 8% universal extra resist added on, no questions asked. But Sauce, you only showed the mount. What about the other pieces of the gear? I'm glad that you asked. So you might be wondering where I got some of this gear from. Basically, the Fall Scroll of Fortune also happens to have a pack right here, look. In tier 3, which some people have already managed to get, people have started to actually unlock this, basically. So they have all these points. I don't know what they've been doing to get all these points, but this is actually a real thing. People have been doing this. In order to get this 9 or 8% extra resist, depending on which set that you're rocking, right, you do need the mount. But the other two things that you can use are the pet and the wand. Now, I can't stress to you enough how crazy that is because, one, pets are not relevant. The only exception, in my opinion, really being Storm. I feel like Storm needs a Storm Beetle pet. No school is limited to having one type of pet in order to do PvP. So this pet right here, it's called the Snappy Frillosaur, right? And as you can see by this image that people have started to get this pet, people have started to hatch out this pet. As you can see, it's also part of the Fossil Hunter set. So already, if you pay enough crowns, you happen to get the mount, you happen to get this pet, and you happen to get the stats you need on this pet, you're already looking at 4 to 6 extra damage, depending on your school. Now, let's look at how you can get the third piece and get this 9 extra resist by, yes, simply paying crowns. So let's look at the Fossil Warriors Skull Crusher, right? Now, this is what Life and Storm Wizards would basically be rocking in order to get the extra 8 resist. Let's take a look at it and compare it to other gear that exists, and I'll show you why you're giving up very, very few stats if you have the mount, the pet, and the wand to get this extra 8 resist. I'm gonna use a more extreme example just to prove my point, but I think it's a good example to show how crazy of a change this could be. Let's look at my stats and my wand, right? Right now, on my Life Wizard, right, I have a wand that gives me 13 Shadow Rating, 245 Pip Conserve, 17 damage, and 4 Pierce. With those stats, right, with that wand and this mighty pet, I have 140 damage and 64 resist. Additionally, I'm rocking a Life Gulcher. So let's say we removed this Life Gulcher. We remade this pet, which is, by the way, on a Piggle, so literally I would lose out on nothing because this doesn't give me any cards I can use. And we replace this wand. All I would be giving up is 4 Pierce, so my Pierce would go down to a little below 30. And instead of 64 resist, I would have over 70 resist with 137 damage. And by the way, if I wanted to make that Pierce 4% higher, just to make up for it, all I'd have to do is wear turquoise, and now I'd have 9,200 health with all that resist. What I'm trying to say is, if you just saw how dumb PvP became when Shrike got nerfed and everyone was jading to the point where you had to add a timer, then why is there a way to pay your way to just get Jade-like resist anyways? Like what was the point of the past few weeks of turbulence if all that led up to was this garbage being added into the game? I cannot stress enough how crazy this game has gotten with gear set upgrades if this becomes a thing. Because look at this, right? Let's take a mighty triple double pet that I made on a Tailstorm so that I could have a little bit of extra resist if I had the gear set combo with the Rapture Rider Skull. If I were to do that, I'd be giving up a lot of damage and I would only have 68 resist. It actually made sense to trade off a lot of damage for 3 extra resist because there are some strategies with brace and weakness where this extra resist could matter. But when you're trading off only just 4 pierce for 8 extra resist, that's when it becomes really, really broken, especially because the only way, presumably, to get this is through a pack. And this is a pack gear set upgrade. So there's no droppable version of this. There's none of that. It's broken and it's pay to win. I don't get it. Even on a storm, right, where you would be giving up something larger, right, like 7 pierce. Let's just say you're giving up 7 or 8 pierce from this wand, right? Even if you gave up that 8 pierce to wear this new wand, let's refresh our memory. Bop! Even if you were to wear this new wand, look at the stats. I'll take off my Gulcher. I'll assume I can remake this on, you know, the new pet. And I wear this new wand. And you're looking at 64 resist with 139 damage and like 35 pierce on a storm. On a storm. Not only would this completely unbalance the game, it would also make already defensive schools way too defensive and already offensive schools way too overpowered. Strike just got nerfed to the point where you can literally die from using it. The last thing on anyone's mind right now should be to add more pieces of gear, whether it's for crowns or not, that can add 9 resist. Now, the way I see it, there's only 2 solutions to this. One, if I don't know, whoever's designing this or whoever's designing the pack, they still want the pack to do well because people want to get these stats. Please, and I know I'm asking this with everyone's best interest at heart, please make this no PvP. If you're gonna make it so that a mount, a pet, and a wand of that nature can give you 9 extra resist, please make it no PvP. If that's not an option because you want PvPers to buy this pack, one of those 3 things needs to not contribute to the 9 to 8 resist. If you look at all the other parts of the Fossil Warrior set, whether you look at the robe, whether you look at the boots, whether you look at the hat, the only thing that gives resist is the robe. And the robe doesn't give any damage. So at least if you were to have 9 extra resist, you'd be much, much closer to a Jade than you ever would be to, like, you know, someone with over 130 damage and Jade resist. In my opinion, it still really doesn't make this okay, but at least it would make a little bit more sense. So I think if you were not to make it no PvP, the only other solution is to either remove the pet out of the set, either remove the wand out of the set, which wouldn't really make sense, or remove the mount out of the set. I can't express to you how crazy it would be if a rare permanent mount from a pack was worth potentially 9 extra resist. And I know what you guys are like, where are you getting this 9 from? The Fossil Warrior set is only one of the 3 sets. Bop! As you can see, the Fossil Hunters set gives 9 resist, and that's for ice. So if you've ever thought that ice, when they put on a brace, seemed like they actually cannot take any damage with some of their setups, think again. That's all I'm gonna say. The other thing that's kind of crazy about this pack is that there's a Maycast on some of these wands that are for 10 pips. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Why do these wands, why is that a thing? Why is it that based on chance, because you paid crowns, you might get 10 pips worth of extra damage? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I understand it's probably going to be hype as hell if you get it, but if you are on the receiving end of it, you are almost certainly going to lose because of that, especially when you're talking about people who don't run high resist. You're making certain setups almost impossible to run with something of this nature. So whether you're talking about the wands, whether you're talking about the gear set upgrade, whether you're talking about the fact that a permanent mount might be worth 9 resist, there's a lot of things that this pack seems to be getting wrong, and I don't know, maybe this is just based on just the few packs that people have been able to open by unlocking the Scroll of Fortune pack, but that is really, really alarming, because this pack isn't even in the crown shop yet, and people are already talking about ways to get resist way above 100. This might be one of the first packs that has come out, like, ever, where if you want to PvP and you want to be competitive, you might need a permanent mount from that pack. And not only is that bad for PvP, I think that's bad for how customers feel about playing this game. I don't know, man. Those are just my 2 cents. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. I fully negative-ass review on this one, man. Like, I try to see the silver lining. I really hope it's a mistake that this mount is even a part of this gear set, because honestly, it would make sense if it was a 5-piece set, like it says. Pet, robe, boots, hat, and wand. Like, that 5 would make sense. I really hope that the mount is not a part of this, because if it is, strap up, because it's about to be a really, really rocky road. Let me know what y'all's opinions is of this. Do you guys think that 9 extra resist makes sense on a gear set? Do you think that a pet, a mount, and a wand should be worth that. Should it be worth it? But yeah, man, that's just my feedback. I know that if anything, I'm honest about these things. I can't really find a positive thing to talk about when it comes to what I've seen out of the leaked versions of all of this gear. You know, it's appalling to me that this is even a thing that people can currently do in the game. That's actually crazy. The pack hasn't even been out yet and I'm scared to go into the arena. I know nobody probably has it because you would need to go crazy to make the pet and get a wand and a mount and all of that. It's just, why is this a thing? Why is it a thing? Drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a sub if you're new. I'd love to hear y'all's I can't speak. I'd love to hear y'all's opinions. There's tons of links in the description as well if you want to get more involved. My Discord, my Twitter, my Instagram, and of course my Patreon. Thank you for all the love on my Patreon. And check out my Twitch as well for that extra content. And as always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome. And yeah, y'all.